All right, we're live. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Mitch Goldberg. You're watching Be the Boss of Your Money. It's a show about personal finance, the investment world, interest rates, borrowing, saving, budgeting, just a litany of things that have to do with personal finance. But overall, it's about helping you gain a better understanding about your finances, helping you make better decisions about your investments. That's what the show's all about. That's what we're going to do right now. Just a memory, right? 2011. I remember where I was. It was, I think, a Sunday evening. Standard and Poor's came out and said it was August of 2011. We're cutting the the debt rating of U.S. Treasuries. When the United States issues debt, it issues treasuries, right? Treasury bonds. Going from the gold standard, I don't mean gold like the bullion. I mean the gold standard of ratings, triple A to double A plus. Sent a shockwave through the market. Market tanked the following Monday morning. As I recall, about 5%. You know, it's all anybody talked about. The bears are out like, oh, this is terrible. This means we're going to do this. We're going to go that. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Because when things bad happen, the people you hear on TV are the people who've been pushing a bearish scenario. It's like if oil goes down a lot, then they have people come out and say, yeah, we knew oil was going to go down. It's the worst thing. And then if oil goes up a lot, you have people come out and say, yeah, oil's up. It's going to go to 200 a barrel. It's not enough. It's geopolitical. Anyway, things calm down. We're also going through the Greek debt crisis, right? We were going through the European sovereign debt crisis. There was it was really tough with the Obama administration and a Republican Congress. They were fighting over the budget ceiling, raising the debt ceiling. Very similar to what it is now. It was very nasty then. It's quite nasty today. So we had a couple of bad days. The year, the S&P finished flat, up a little bit if you include dividends. The Dow was up that year. I think the Nasdaq was up also. But the point is, the S&P was flat. You can't invest directly into an index, but you could invest into a security that tracks or mimics an index. Just have to get that out of the way. And the world marched right on. And if you ask most people, when was the last time U.S. debt was downgraded by a rating agency? Most people will just give you a shrug. They don't know. They don't remember. 5 years ago, maybe some people could say, no, it was 12 years ago. That's a long time. And we got through it just fine. I do think S&P should never have raised the debt. Let me go back. I do think S&P should never have downgraded the U.S. debt. I don't think it was necessary. It's not like the U.S. had any trouble paying its bills. Now, at that point, if we didn't raise the debt ceiling, if Congress didn't agree to it, the U.S. would not have paid its bills. But it's not because investors were worried about it. It's not because there was something really bad happening with the bill paying ability of the U.S. Treasury. It was just because people did want to agree. I'll say this: under President Trump, the debt ceiling was raised 3 times, no questions asked. Now it's under the Biden administration. The Republican Congress is saying, "Oh no, we can't do that. We got to cut spending." This is the kind of politicking I really can't stand. We have no problem with raising the budget deficit. The U.S. has no problem borrowing. We don't want to borrow forever and ever and ever. We want to get the budget under control. We want to get our budget deficit. Okay, spending. We want to get to even where we're not borrowing to pay for things, where we could just rely on tax income, tax revenue. But, if you get rid of the tax revenue, abolish the IRS, then where does the government get money? How do you pay for all those F-35s? How do you pay for highways and bridges? The stuff has to be paid for. The debt ceiling has to do with stuff that we already purchased. Now we have to just pay the bill. New spending is new spending. But each side has maximum leverage right now, but they also have maximum risk right now. And I think each side must believe that the other side will get the blame. Why else would they do this? Right? Why would the Democrats, Republicans take us to the brink of a default if they thought that they were going to get blamed for it? It's a really tough position. So who do we blame? I don't think minds are changed. As far as politics go, I don't think anybody's minds are going to be changed. Nobody's changing their political affiliation over this. It's just people will dig in their heels more within their own political affiliation. But minds aren't being changed. And if you do get an agreement, once the next administration has and Congress takes control, and there's a majority, once the administration's political party also has control of Congress, they're going to do what they want anyway. Budget agreements be damned. They're going to do it. So nothing really matters if you agree on something or not. Because as soon as somebody has control, they're going to do it their way anyway. It's a really tough position to be in. And I don't think we should be fighting over raising the debt ceiling. It's got to go up. If you think this is maximum leverage to get spending cuts, you're going to get spending cuts, all right, when the economy goes off a cliff. Then we'll get real spending cuts. This is not the time. We had over a year to do this. Budgets were not submitted by one of the parties until just a week or two ago? And now they want, now they're doing this? I don't know. Something stinks. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. It's the best part about doing this. We need to get the budget deficit under control, yes. We also need to raise the debt ceiling. And nobody, who's going to suffer? You and me. But if you're in retirement, you're going to suffer the most. Because this will affect your Social Security payments. This will affect your portfolio. This will affect the dividends and interest you're getting from your portfolio. This affects everything. The rest of us will continue to work. We'll be made whole. We'll get our money back. Government workers who get the shaft and can't get paid, but they have to work by law, they'll get paid back. They'll be made whole. Military personnel, they'll be made whole. Everybody's going to be made whole, except for the retirees. Okay. Anyway, just an idea here of why it's dangerous to live on your interest. Okay. Because our biggest worry in retirement, if you think about it, it's running out of money, right? Running out of money in retirement. So what people used to do, and I think people still talk about this, but not the right way. By the way, I have to roll the introduction. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Pesky introduction, and then we're gonna wrap up very quickly. Some cool personal finance. So here we go. Hold on a second. Where's the introduction? Here it is. Okay, so what we're talking about is this. People like to live off their interest. Your biggest fear in retirement is running out of money. So you think, wouldn't it be nice if I had a nice pot of money that I could just live off the interest? If I could just live off the interest and not touch the principal. This way I'll never run out of money. Just hold on a second. Because you're not taking into consideration inflation. And Hmm. And as someone who speaks with retirees all the time, because my clients, many of them are retirees, and they've given money to family over the years. They've been generous over the years. They've saved over the years. But what kills them is that inflation has eroded their money, their buying power so much that they just don't have enough money anymore to do anything. And let me give you an example. Let's say you have $1 million portfolio and you can get 4% on $1 million. Let's say 4% for 30 years. You're not going to touch it. If that means 40,000 a year, plus you're getting your Social Security. And for some of you, that might be enough. For some of you, you have other incomes. But I'm just going bare bones here. I just want to touch upon this, okay? 40,000. I have my notes here. At 3% interest in 5 years, you will need 46,300 from that portfolio to pay for $40,000 worth of goods and services in today's prices. In 10 years, you'll need $53,750. 20 years, you'll need $78,000, and 30 years, $97,000. That's the problem. Even just a 3% inflation rate erodes buying power. And this is why financial advisors like me, this is why I don't recommend a portfolio of strictly living off of just interest or even just dividends. There needs to be, in my opinion, a component. There needs to be, in my opinion, a component of growth that could stay ahead of inflation. Maybe not the whole portfolio, but at least something to help you keep up a little bit with inflation. And that means that that portion of your portfolio will experience something called volatility, which is the ups and downs of the stock market while you're holding on for the long term. So that means there will be times when the stock market goes down and your portfolio goes down, and you could simply say, I would have been better off in a money market because my account would not have gone down. But over the long term, I think you'll more likely be saying, I wish I had some growth in my portfolio because the dividends and interest just doesn't cut it. And there's nothing I can do at this point except for liquidate my portfolio. And the more I liquidate my portfolio, the less interest I'm going to get. And it just becomes a catch 22 where you run out of money even faster because you were trying to run out of money even slower. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to get going. I'll be back tomorrow. As we speak, the people in power, Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, McConnell, McCarthy, and President Biden are meeting. And we'll see if they have anything to say, what they could do. And let's just see what the results are tonight. And we'll be talking about this tomorrow morning on my radio show, Money in the Morning with Mitch Goldberg, and certainly tomorrow evening on Be the Boss of Your Money. Have a good night, everyone, and thanks for watching.